According to a new book by Michael Isakoff and Daniel Klaidman, Sidney Powell, in the overturning the 2020 election results scheme, requested from Donald Trump 6 to 8, the author said, preemptive pardons so that they could basically get their, as they called them, hunting licenses to go out there and find all that voter fraud that Donald Trump swore existed. But in order to do that, of course, they were going to need those preemptive pardons because, it was pretty obvious we're going to have to break some laws to prove this. Let me read you this. This from Vanity Fair. I need 6 to 8 pardons, the former Trump attorney said in a Virginia planning meeting, according to Find Me the Votes, excerpts of which were reviewed by Vanity Fair ahead of its January 30th publication date. So today the book's out. What we need is a hunting license that provides top cover for ops, a member of Powell's team wrote to Lynn Wood, another Trump lawyer involved in the effort to overturn Joe Biden's 2020 victory. The team asked Michael Tremarco, an associate of Rudy Giuliani's, to get the former New York City mayor to approve the pardon proposal. But Giuliani, quote, dismissed the idea as over the top, according to the book. Tremarco apparently agreed, recalling that he thought, what the F, as the group mulled the idea. So even the guy who asked for the preemptive pardons was like, yeah, I also kind of thought this is a little over the top. And even Rudy Giuliani was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. Maybe we shouldn't be breaking the law. And ultimately, we know what happened. They did not get the preemptive pardons, thank God. But they did go ahead to go on and do all of the horrible things that they wanted to do anyway, which of course then led to the racketeering charges in the state of Georgia, which Sidney Powell has already agreed to a plea deal to. But the preemptive pardon part is a huge friggin' deal, folks. That means that Sidney Powell, and trust me, this would have been used against her in Georgia had she not taken that plea deal. Maybe it was used against her in order to get her to accept the plea deal. But seeking of the preemptive pardon, this is an indication that Sidney Powell understood that her and the 6 to 8 members of her team were going to break the law. Like they had already planned on it. They knew going into this, we're going to have to do things that are illegal just to maybe prove your claims. But what it also does, even though Donald Trump swears he never hired her, it ties Sidney Powell directly back to Donald Trump, and that absolutely will be used against him in Georgia, assuming, of course, we do get to the trial there. Obviously, as I've discussed both here and over at Ring of Fire, got some pretty big, serious issues with Fani Willis. That could threaten that trial. Not necessarily getting the charges dismissed, that's not going to happen, but it could result in a new prosecutorial team coming on board, which would delay the trial for months and months and months. So we may not get resolution to that trial this year. But when we do, you'd better believe that Sidney Powell's preemptive pardons are going to come into play. The request alone is an indication that criminal acts were going to be committed. This may also affect some of Donald Trump's other cases, specifically, the January 6th case that he's facing in front of Judge Tanya Chutkan, which, unfortunately, that one is also kind of indefinitely delayed at the moment. So we keep getting lots of evidence directly tying Donald Trump into potential criminal activity, but there's still a good chance we may not get resolutions to any of them this year. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.